A year after the first Scream, we get the second one, directed by Wes Craven once again, starring Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and Liev Schreiber. Didn't think he was going to be in this one. Anyways, this film is, of course, about after the premiere of the movie Stab, which is based off the events of the original Scream. A copycat killer seeks to strike and take revenge on, once again, Sydney Prescott in her college town. So we're going to dive into this movie and help you decide whether or not it's the right one to watch as a Christian right now. Hey friends, welcome to the channel. I'm your host Tim, and we exist to help Christians live in the world, not of the world, by utilizing our convictions in the movies and shows we watch. Scream 2 is rated R for some intense and horror-esque images, violence and gore, as well as some strong language. So we're going to dive into any convictions you may have that may prevent you from watching Scream 2, any theological themes present within it, and wrap it up with my own thoughts on the film. Without further ado, let's dive into the Christian Conviction Meter. If this is your first time here, the Christian Conviction Meter is 5 convictions that may distract or hinder your relationship with Jesus. Ultimately, this is a resource to help you determine whether or not Scream 2 aligns with the convictions that God has given you. And before we continue on, obviously want to acknowledge this is a horror movie. And for me and my personal convictions, horror slasher movies are a-okay with my convictions. Other than that, let's dive on in. And once again, just like the first Scream, we see a lot of the same elements because it deals with a copycat killer, which means they're gonna copy. Shocker, I know. You're so surprised. In all seriousness though, there are a little bit more in some ways. There's a lot of blood, once again, in this film. There's a lot of stabs, wounds, things of that sort. I think they really kind of go overboard with the stabbing in this one. You don't see a lot in the first one. You see a little bit more in this one, where a lot of it is just kind of more overkill, things of that sort that is a part of this film. But just like the first one, there are multiple victims who are part of this movie, so there are multiple deaths. There's a guy who's impaled by like a metal rod, and you do get to see him a little bit. It's disgusting, I can't even lie to you. But there is, like I said, also a lot of blood that is a part of the movie and things of that sort. It's going to be, once again, a 5 out of 5 in this category. Our next category is lust, and thank goodness this has less than the original. We do see a scene in which a character goes to take a shower. It's based on the movie Stab, the movie within a movie, Stab, that is within this film. And so there's a character who goes to take a shower, obviously undresses. Nothing is shown on screen. There is no nudity. That is a part of the film. There's a couple characters making out, and there is, once again, talks about sex and things of that sort that is a part of the film. There also is a guy in a fraternity brothers punishment ritual in which he is shirtless, tied up to like a thing from a play, and so that is something to kind of keep in mind. But all of that to say, we're going to give this a 2 out of 5 in this category. Our next category is substances, and once again, we do see more alcohol use, both in sorority, fraternity parties, and things of that sort. During the kind of punishment of one of our characters, like a frat punishment, he is doused in a bunch of beer, just all over him. And so that is something to kind of keep in mind here. The alcohol use, it isn't obviously over the top and crazy other than that one punishment scene there, but it is throughout the movie. There is maybe some characters who are a little more loosey-goosey in some of the more party scenes, but it's not explicit in front of the camera for you there. All of that to say, we're going to give this a 3 out of 5 just to be on the safe side here. Our next category is profanity, and there's a good amount here. Hell is used, the SH word is used, the DA word is used, the PU word is used, and the BI word is used. There also is multiple uses of the F word. In fact, there's a little bit more in this one compared to the original film. this will be a 5 out of 5 in this category. And our last category is intense/horror scenes. This is a horror movie, which means there are horror elements contained within this film. There is, once again, a lot more jump scares and things of that sort, a creepy, eerie sense throughout the film. There's moments that tense up to try to draw some scares, things of that sort, lots of screaming, all the things you would expect from a horror movie. On top of that, there is a play rehearsal that happens in which the scene can be pretty intense at times. And of course, there also is some PTSD that Sidney Prescott kind of deals with in this movie. And so that is something to kind of keep in mind with that. All of that to say, though, a lot of the moments are intense. A lot of the deaths are brutal and can be very, very terrifying. It's going to be a 5 out of 5 once again in this category. So our grand total on the conviction meter is going to be a 20 out of 25. There is a lot here in this movie. Of course, the biggest ones here being your violence and gore and your intense/horror scenes, and of course your profanity. And so if anything we talked about compromises your convictions in any way, shape, or form, don't worry about watching the movie. No movie is more important than your relationship with Jesus, so make sure to keep him first. I wouldn't say this movie necessarily benefits our faith, as most movies don't, or as most, particularly horror movies, do not. That leads us into our next topic as we dive into some theological themes present within Scream, and I didn't find anything. I didn't really see anything. The most that was kind of talked about is Sidney Prescott kind of says she's not a fan of organized religion, but that's about it. I didn't see anything Christian, Bible, Jesus, church related contained within Scream 2. This leads us into our last topic as we dive into my thoughts on the film. A sequel is never as good as the original film. A quote that is stated within this movie, and that is very true within this one. The irony is very much stated in that. But in all seriousness, there are still some entertaining points of the film. There's some good twists, turns, things of that sort. Some shocking moments that surprised me in this watch of the film. And overall, it was pretty good. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't phenomenal. I love kind of the overarching parodiness of the film. I find it even funnier that they made a movie about the events of the movie. So there's a movie within the movie. Brilliant! And it seems like the third one is going to be the movie about the movie about the movie within a movie.
What?
Or however you want to put it. In all seriousness, though, that is what is a part of this movie. And the parodiness continues to be the overarching theme. And I do enjoy it for the most part. There are a lot of things to like about the film. I would definitely say this is not anywhere near the first one. It is not as strong in most areas. And so overall, it's a solid, enjoyable time. There's a few things here to like, a few things here to not like. I'm going to give it a 7.4 out of 10. Overall, pretty enjoyable, but definitely could be where I wish it was, just a little bit better. Also, why is Liev Schreiber in this film in the first place? I don't get it. So it's a 20 out of 25 on the conviction meter. It is a 7.4 out of 10 in my review. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Let's chat all things about Scream 2 in the comments. While you're down there, consider hitting that like and subscribing for us, joining our community here on YouTube. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with us here. We truly appreciate it. It means the absolute world to us. There are a few video recommendations over here that YouTube is suggesting to you, one of which is the original Scream. So if you want to check that out, it's available right over here. And we'll see you all in the next one.